Hi everyone, I'm Ségolène Leloutre, Cosmetic Valley, in charge of the international partnership. Let me introduce you this webinar since it's organized in the framework of Global Cosmetics Cluster Europe, a European project that Cosmetic Valley holds and coordinates with 5 other clusters from Europe, from Spain, Italy, Turkey, Romania, and Portugal. So it's a 24-month project in order to boost the internationalization of SMEs towards 5 markets: India, Mexico, South Korea, USA, and Emirates. In the framework of this European project, we have developed an acceleration program dedicated for SMEs, which has 4 main objectives in order to bring you to those markets: market intelligence, capacity building actions, international trade and partnership, and funding opportunities. And in the framework of the market intelligence part, we developed and we asked to have 5 market studies on each of those 5 countries. And today is the presentation, the restitution of one of those 5 market studies, of course, on the Emirates. So we ask Globalliance and TTO Gulf and Expo Pulse to work on this market study for the Emirates. So here's the presentation we want to share with you. The restitution is open to everyone. The market study, the final document, will be open and we will be able to give it to you if you're a member of one of those 6 clusters. So you will ask it on demand on the website dedicated of Global Cosmetic Cluster. Please enjoy this webinar. I hope it's going to be full of information for you to develop. We might be able to meet during the event at the beginning of October in Dubai, since we're organizing a mission there with a European delegation, but also we will go on Beauty World Middle East Dubai. So we might meet there and discuss about this great market for the cosmetic industry. Enjoy the webinar and thank you very much for the presentation. And don't hesitate to ask questions. Thanks.
Okay, so I don't know, I think everybody see my screens now? Not yet, it's going to be there in a few seconds. Okay, so thank you very much, all of you to be there today to have this special webinar on the cosmetic side. I'm working with TTE Gulf, as Ségolène said, and I have with me Rami Khalifa, managing the office in Dubai, and Mia, who has worked.
Good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon. Yes.
Okay, and we will be the 3 of us presenting this study that has been done. So let me go back first of all to the study. As Ségolène Leloutre said just before, this is the full study that has been done. So as you can see, it's a very detailed study which was done. The objective of today is not to go in all the presentation in detail, because it would require more than 1 hour, but at least it gives you an idea of the table of contents with all the different subjects which have been there in this study. UAE cosmetic market analysis, we'll go through it. We'll have also a few words on the business culture, business and cosmetic as well. As you can see, there are very large analyses done on different segments. And then we have these different other specificities that you could have in the market concerning, for example, Middle East beauty secrets, influencers, cosmetic influencers, and we have some subject about BtoC promotions. I mean, different ways of trying to communicate, advertise, how you do it. Then there is a link on the Expo 2020, which is starting from October this year, going up to March. Okay, and we'll speak a lot about Dubai. And then, of course, the last chapter is linked to the regulations, and we will discuss with Rami Khalifa today about this regulation part as well. So let me go back to GCC, maybe give you a brief overview of the regions. The regions is composed of 6 countries. That's of course the largest one is Saudi Arabia. Then we have United Arab Emirates. Then we've got Oman, Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait. If I take the full regions, we speak roughly about 58 million people, 35 million in Saudi Arabia, 10 million in UAE, and the rest are quite small countries. And you will see that if you look at these regions, it's quite an attractive region, of course, because it's very rich, and of course a lot of international companies are coming to these markets to make business. So this is really a very dynamic regions. If you look at the populations, you will see that most of the population is young. If you looked at the people who are above 65, it's just 5% of the population. I think that's also something that you can compare with this COVID-19 issues that we had. As you have seen in Europe, a lot of the population which is above 80 years old, they were very, in fact, handicapped with this virus. You know, I mean, they were really targeted by the virus, and people also above 60. But you see here in this part of the regions, they are not. It's quite a very small percentage. If I take, for example, just UAE, you will see that the population above 65 is hardly 1 or 2% only of the population. Why, we will see later, is because the local population is most of the times much smaller than the expatriate population as well. If we look at the gender, approximately 2/3 of the peoples are male, 1/3 female, also explained by the fact that if you take, for example, United Arab Emirates, out of 10 million people, you have 1 million local people. You have, of course, a lot of workers, a lot of people coming here in the markets, working in the construction sites, working in different sectors, where and these peoples, I mean, they don't have always a good salary, at least a salary which is enough to sponsor their family, because you need most of the time the minimum salary to sponsor your family. So there are a lot of people, a lot of men coming alone and working alone and then sending the money to their country. So that's why we have a lot of males compared to female. This is one of the explanations. Now, if you looked at just United Arab Emirates, of course, we speak a lot about Dubai, but the capital, the main city is Abu Dhabi. Okay, that's really, I would say, the political cities where you have a lot of embassies, and this is really the capital of the country. But in terms of business, most of the business is in Dubai. And why do we have this? Maybe also because most of the oil is in the region of Abu Dhabi. 90% of the oil is in Abu Dhabi, and Dubai, they didn't have oil, 60 years ago. So they decided to turn into a business, and they did quite well. We will see later that we have quite a dynamic country. So Abu Dhabi is more related, I would say, when we have companies coming in the markets, it's more related to governments, or it's, working with ministers, for example, or working in the oil and gas or in the defense, whatever is related to the country, to the federal aspect. And Dubai is more related, I would say, to day-to-day business. And then we've got other Emirates. The largest one afterwards is Sharjah, which is more conservative Emirates, I would say, really next to Dubai. But it's more, I would say, an Emirates where people live because it's quite cheap compared to Dubai. But I would say most of the business is in Dubai. Then the others are Ajman, Rais Al Khaimah, Al Quwain, and Fujairah. So we have 7 Emirates. They were independent in 1971, and these years, on December 2nd, we will have the 50 years anniversary of the independence of UAE, and United Arab Emirates was before British colony, for your information. So we have UAE national people. I mean, easy to recognize them because by the way they wear their kandura, by the way they wear their clothes. Okay, and in fact, it's easy also to differentiate afterwards when you are in the country. You can easily differentiate, for example, Saudi nationals being there on vacations or a Qatari being on vacations just by the clothes. And then you have the immigrants, and we call them expatriates. And expatriates are all the foreigners. It could be a laborer who is just getting a small salary, like, of course, an expatriate, which is getting a very large salary. We all call them expatriates. It's quite a rich populations, I would say, because we have a lot of, as you know, we have a lot of it's a good economy, I would say. Maybe one of the particularity of UAE is that it's a very diversified economy, because oil and gas is less than 20% of the GDP of the country. So it's really an economy that has been really diversified with business, but of course with tourism. If we take Dubai Airport, it's the third largest airport in the world. It's 90 million passengers a year. It is larger than Paris, Frankfurt, Paris Charles de Gaulle, Frankfurt, or even London. So it's a very busy airport as well, with Emirates Airline, and in Abu Dhabi we have Etihad Airline. The luxury market, of course, it's very large. It's a very large market. I mean, but I would say that it has changed also. We will see the way people looked at luxury. It's quite different now. Before they were really going and just buying because everybody had, I would say, the same watch or whatever, and this, and they really wanted to have the most expensive. I think now the way people consume is different. Maybe also with the young generation, it's more, it's not just like buying, but it's also an experience sometimes. So luxury markets, of course, we speak about goods, but we speak also about tourism as well. We have a lot of people coming to Dubai to make some shopping as well from all over the regions. The cosmetic market, of course, it's a good market, which is always, I would say, increasing. There is always increasing demands. Of course, we speak about the young generations, which has access also to the internet. As you know, UAE is one of the markets which is 90% connected with fiber optic. So there is more and more, and especially with COVID-19, more and more e-commerce business which is done. So a lot of people start now buying with the e-commerce platform. So this is a channel that you have to look at. And of course, people looked also at natural and organic product, and this is also something that has changed. People want to buy, but to also to live better, using better product, better for the environment. And even though you know, we still have some, I would say, other product, we have also this new product coming in the market, and this is really something which is quite interesting. Of course, 2020 was a disturbing year because of this COVID-19. I think you have seen in the market that a lot of countries, and especially on the cosmetic side, also have suffered because of COVID-19. And of course, the airport in Dubai has been closed. So if you looked at that, you know, from 90 million passengers, we went to 17 million. So duty-free, all that kind of stuff, and even people coming on tourism has gone down. But of course, UAE was one of the countries also that has started again, I would say, a kind of normal activity, much faster than some other countries. They have strictly goes with, you know, mask, with PCR test, with vaccinations. They started last October, and I don't know if you see, but on TV we see a lot of shows that give you the idea that the country has really restarted quite well. And you know, I've been living in the country since 1996. I'm in Dubai, and I have seen different crises. Either it's an economic crisis, either it's a health crisis like what we have. I have always seen the country becoming stronger, crisis after crisis. So I'm not really, I would say, pessimistic on that. I think it's really a place where, in terms of export, you can benefit. And definitely with the Expo 2020 started 1st of October, and our cosmetic mission that will start beginning of October, we will be there also in Dubai, as Ségolène said before. I mean, you will see that Dubai will be, and of course UAE will be really on the high spot in the next 2 weeks time. If I look at the SWOT analysis, I think, yes, as I told you, the UAE national are more working for public sectors, government sectors, more working usually in Abu Dhabi or in ministers or in municipalities, things like this. And other people, only a few Emirates, I would say, are in the business sectors, and a lot of expatriates are within the private sector. It's of course a demanding market where you have a lot of competitions. I mean, you know, you will come, you will not be alone. There will be a lot of competitions, international one and Asian one as well. And it's very, you need to be quite careful and really test your product, you know, your offering before going there. And you need also to be careful on the regulation parts. And that's what we will see with Rami afterwards. Let me give you a few brief about the business culture. 90%, as I told you, 85% maybe of the people are expatriates. They are foreigners coming from different places of the world. What I can say here that the people are quite indirect, like in this part of the Middle East part, in UAE part, they are quite indirect people, maybe same like Asian people. They are not direct like Americans or like even French, I'm French, or most European would be. It's a very Mediterranean culture, which is really focused on the relationship rather than just task. You know, they are not task oriented, I would say, but they value the relations that they will get with you. Of course, Arabic is the official language, but we have so much diversity that we need to speak English. And don't be shocked if when you come to Dubai, to make business, you need to speak English rather than Arabic, because in a meeting you may have different nationalities, and that's the only way for us to know each other. So that's what I would say. You discuss about mainly all the topics. Avoid religion. I think that's important, because I would say, except if you are really a strong believer and you believe in God, that could be your God also. If you are Christian, for example, with Muslim, God is the same, Allah is the same for all of us, except that they have different understanding of the different prophet as well. Then you can start speaking about it if you want, as far as you are respectful. But if you do not believe in anything, you do not believe in God, then don't speak about this subject. There is no use, because they will not understand why you don't believe in God. And I think that's no discussions that I would advise you. I would advise you to keep quiet. Don't speak also about politics. I think there is no point to speak about politics. Leaders are there; they have a good visions, and nobody will be able to comment on their leaders. And avoid discussions on genders. I mean, men and women. I think this is also not really a subject that I would discuss about. Reaching an agreement is quite easy. Verbal agreements are also considered. I mean, you can shake hands. There is no issue. For the meals, of course, this is one of the regions where you will see they like to have good foods. For the gift, of course, it's not really necessary, but if you give a gift, just make sure that you receive it with the right hands. Okay, the left hand is done for other things. And business cards, okay, this is something that usually you do, and if you can have it in English, that's good. At least your face with your language, and then the next one opposite in English would be great. The way to dress, I mean, a lot of people wear suits, of course, or they are quite, I would say, casual, but smart casual. Of course, having a tie is okay also. And for women, I would say just respecting the dress code, which is, I would say, a normal dress code like what we have in Europe, but nothing provocative, I would say. Time is something very difficult, you know. I mean, perception of time is quite cool there in the country, and the way they looked at time is different than us. I think they have time, and you should not be in a hurry to develop your business, and you should really focus on long terms. And the week start on a Sunday and finish on a Thursday. Otherwise, what else I can say? I think that's quite okay, I would say, to discuss about that. Let me speak a little bit about the cosmetic parts. If you looked at the diversity, as I told you, we have 2.6 million people coming from India. So you see you have 8.45 million here. You have to add the local population to reach approximately 10 million. And out of these 8.5, you have 2.6 million of Indian people, then 1.2 million people of Pakistani, and then you see the different nationalities. So if you look at Western people, maybe out of 100 people that you have in this map, 3 would be Western people. So really consider that, because in your offering, you may have a product which are good for Asian people, some other product good for Arabic, some other people good for Western people, okay, and you need to address that. I will leave now the parts to Mia.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So as Mr. Labrie said, I'll be discussing the business cosmetics parts of the presentation. So as everyone knows, and as what Mr. Labrie has discussing earlier, UAE has been considered as one of the most diverse countries, home to over 200 plus nationalities, but it is still a Muslim and Arabic country. So most of the companies who would like to have their business in the country or in the Emirates must they're asking questions if halal product certification is a mandatory requirement here. If I should answer, it is a no, but if you're going to ask me if it's a competitive advantage, yes, it is, because the cosmetics market in the UAE has shifted towards the increasing demand of halal certified cosmetic products. Okay, and just like as an example, the ex-L'Oreal executive just launched last August 2020 the halal cosmetics to serve the diverse community. Okay, so also halal cosmetics is no longer a trend here, but it is a key component for people's lifestyle, since most of the residents and the consumers as well are very how should I say this, like they are very aware, and they would like to have this halal certification, and same with organic and other things. Okay, so next, sir. Okay, as for beauty and skincare products in the UAE, beauty and skincare products is one of the necessity for the consumers here across age, gender, and race. And approximately, it has been estimated that for Emirati women, they spend close to 1 billion dirhams or 272 US dollars per year for beauty products. So I should say it's really one of the necessity here in the Emirates. And for the hair care products, same with the beauty and skincare products, it is also one of the obsession of the consumers. That's why the grow and the demand for salon-inspired products are continuously growing and increasing. Okay, same with other markets. So UAE is segmented into different categories. So we have perfumery or fragrance, makeup, skincare, and hair products. So the dominating categories are perfume, which is they have this different category for perfume. They have fine fragrance, concentrated fragrance, and incense. Okay, here, so a lot of cosmetic influencers in the UAE has been known, and one of the key way how to enter the market or how to be known in the market is through social media influencers. So we have listed some of the cosmetic influencers based in Dubai, and you can see here Miss Huda Katan. He is one of the most popular beauty blogger. She is the one who created Huda Beauty in 2013, and it is now considered as one of the world's fastest growing beauty brands in the world. So you can see below are some of her products. So here for Huda Beauty, they have selected an influencer marketing wherein they created a line specifically for Ramadan holiday. So as I mentioned earlier, social media is one of the key factor or the most influential way to enter the market, because most of the consumers are watching or using social media nowadays. And it is 94% of in-house marketers in the UAE believe that social media influencer is playing enormous role in successful brands. And most of the local brands in the region are currently working with different influencers to be known. Okay, so for the perception and reputation of European cosmetic products in the UAE, we can say that the international beauty hubs or the countries such as France, Spain, and Italy, they have been they were able to design a product line that is suitable to the beauty and skincare enthusiasts in the Emirates. So when we go to the fragrances and beauty products, this is really synonymous to France. So most of the France beauty industries have been consistently recording a steady growth over the years in the Emirates. Okay, we have listed here some of the retailers for cosmetics and fragrances. You can see we have segmented it into three parts. So we have the distributors, the e-commerce, and retailers. Okay, following that, I will be showing you we could say the top three main player or distributor in the region for cosmetics and beauty industry. So first we have Shalhoub Group. As some of you know, it is this is the distributor of luxury products or luxury brands in the UAE. So we have Nazi Group as well, and we have Multiplex International. Okay, so we have here the local skincare brands. As you may know, UAE has been not just an import and export hub, but also they are doing some manufacturing on their side to cover the market, the needs of the market. So we have the local skincare brands, we have the local hair care brands, the makeup brands, and the perfume brands. These are all made in the UAE or they're made by an Emirati national. So in the Emirates, the same as other markets, we have different advertising methods. So we have this television advertising, newspaper, radio, and outdoor activities. And as I mentioned earlier, social media is one of the key factor and one of the key way to enter the market. And it is one of the easiest to do. Okay, so this one, we have like the exhibitions related to cosmetics, hair care, and perfumery. So we have Beauty World Middle East, which is happening on October 2021. We have Istamegna Network and Professional Beauty GCC. So, okay, so Expo, this is one of the most awaited event to happen in the Emirates. It is scheduled supposedly last October 2020 to April 10, 2021, but due to COVID-19, the committee and their management has decided to reschedule it a year later than the scheduled date. So now the date is October 21. It will start on October 1, 2021, sorry, and it will end by March 31, 2022. Okay, so this is the professional directories. We have an online and offline. This is actually some of the directories available in the UAE. So we have a professional beauty distributor directory. This is the one that in the professional beauty exhibition, they give it out. And also for the Beauty World Middle East exhibitors directory, and then cosmetics index. While for, if you want to know an update and on the trend of the cosmetics and beauty industry, We have Middle East Beauty, Beauty World Middle East Industry News, Beauty News Middle East, and Cosmetics Business.
Okay, Mia, thank you very much for these explanations on the markets. I mean, I don't know at that time if you've got any questions. I have not seen any question up to now, but feel free, as Camille told you before, there is one part down on the panels that you are having with GoToWebinars, and you can see a question. Then you can easily write one questions, and then whenever we've got them, we will try to answer them as soon as possible. So just one, I have got one question now. Are we going to get these PowerPoints? I think Ségolène, you may be able to answer this question.
The replay will be sent by email, so you'll have it by replay, the whole webinar.
Okay. You're welcome. So if there are no questions for the time being, I propose to go to the next part, which is on the regulations. And then, of course, be ready with your questions. We will have we will be able to answer them as soon as we finish the regulation part. So Rami, I leave it up to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for the introduction. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm really a pleasure to attend with you the webinar, and I'm going to take the part which it will be related to the regulations. And before going on deeply discussion about the regulations part related to cosmetic and the perfumes, I would like just to verify to you how to enter the market here locally. In order for you to enter the local market in UAE, you have two different options. The first one, to find really like a local distributor who will be acting like the distributor here locally, and he will take care about the product registration and all formalities related to the regulations part of the product. And of course, most of them, they will be asking like to have exclusivity for maybe the region or maybe for only UAE. It will be depending on the discussion. And the second option, it will be related to open your company or which it will be maybe in mainland or free zone. And through these two ways, you will be allowed, and you can start the procedures for product registration, which is the main point for enter any country. And of course, the regulations, it will be different from one country to the other. So if we speak about the main sectors for product registration in UAE, we have two different authorities. The first one, it's the municipalities all over the Emirates, you know, for, as Mr. Labri already mentioned, you have here in Dubai 7 Emirates. For each Emirates, they have a dedicated municipality who is taking care about the registrations and approval of the product. The main one, which is located in Dubai, because maybe 60% of companies which is located in Dubai, so they need to register the product through the Dubai municipality. And of course, these approvals, it will be done through the port which you are planning to import your product through. I mean, if you are planning to import your product through Sharjah, so you need to get the approval and the product registration from Sharjah. If you plan to get the product and to import the product from any port, whatever it's seaport or airport in Dubai, so your product, it should be registered with Dubai municipality. This is the first authority who's taking care about the registration. And the second authority, which we called it Emirates Authority for Standardization and Metrology, ESMA. Okay. For the safety requirements for the cosmetic products, it's a general one, and it's already certified and approved by most of the countries worldwide. And here in Dubai, they are following the requirements of GSO, which it's called Gulf Standardization Organization. And the core safety and the quality requirements under GSO are as follows. First, the product, it should be free of any prohibited substance that include any substance or prohibited by Islamic law, which it will not be allowed or which it will not be aligned with Islam law. The product shall be safe also for human health. Okay. And the project also shall be consist any essential properties which it will not having the change during the shelf life or when it will be stored on the use or
get the confirmation from.
We will move further and you will have one part which it will be related to can you please move the slides? I think it's not moving. So, okay. Yes, we finish also the ISMA. This is about ISMA and okay. Yes, we will speak also now about the packing regulations. There is also some requirements related to the label of the product. Okay, of course, the label it should be in a clear font and applied in the way which it will be easily to be readable and also to be secured in order not to easily removed or scrapped. And it should be having the details in Arabic and English. So sometimes you can find some international products here locally. Of course, they are not having the translation or they are not having the details in Arabic or English, same like most of the French products. So what they can do, they can get it translated by sticker and they can put the sticker on the back side of each bag, which it will be easier to be readable for people. And of course, this information on the label, it must be to be scientifically and laboratory verified. And it must be also accurate and no having any misleading on that. Of course, the label, it should having like the name of the products, the brand name, details of the manufacturers, country of origin, product functions, product ingredients, batch numbers, the barcode, which we are calling, condition of use or warning statement or whatever. I think it is a general one which it will be using for any other countries. The only difference that when we focus in UAE, we need to have it in Arabic and English in the meantime. So if we speak ingredients, so we already spoke about it. So if we speak about the product registration, we have to register the product with two different entities. So the first one, which it will be with ISMA. This is the most important part, which is related to the certificate of conformity. You need, of course, to register the application on ISMA website. And of course, as I have already highlighted on the beginning, it must be done through a local company. So international companies, they cannot do it. So you need to have first a local company or local distributor in order to apply on behalf of you for drafting the application and submitted the documents. You, of course, you need to have also the conformity assessment of the product. You need also to show that the product it's comply with the requirements and also have all requirements or all papers which it will be required by ISMA to be uploaded on the system. And after reviewing for the concerned department, it will take approximately like maybe 4 working days. They will come back and they will ask you either if they required any additional information or they will ask you for the payment to get the certificate. The estimated service fees for ISMA, it's approximately around 2,300 dirham. And we speak about this is per sub-brand. Okay. After getting the approval from ISMA, we will move to the second part, which it will be mainly related to the municipality. As I mentioned, for each Emirates, they have already different municipality authority was taking care about it. For municipality, the main reason to have municipality approvals because it will be selling the product in the stores. And for ISMA, the main reason for getting the certificate for ISMA to import the product locally and to be allowed to enter the country. For registration with municipality, of course, you need to have the picture for all artwork and for the product itself also, the free sales certificate from the country of origin, and also analysis of ingredients report also from the manufacturer's company, laboratory test also. Sometimes it will be required to do it locally here, and in case if it will be required, it will cost you around 1,250 dirham. This is in case if it will be needed. And of course, you need to attach with the registration ISMA certificate, which it's really the most important point to attach. The charges for the municipality, it will be approximately around 525. It's like an what I can say, it's like initiating for register the company, and for the product registration, it will be 50 dirham per product. So in general, you just need to understand exactly what will be the main target you are planning to have. And there is also 2 other certificates which some companies they really interested to have, which it will be Halal certificate, and second one which it will be organic. And both of them they are already certified and already approved by ISMA. So in case if you would like to add the trademark of Halal or the trademark of organic, you must to provide the documents showing that this product it's a Halal certificate. You need to register the product, okay, and you need also to wait for the approval. Then you can publish this is really a Halal certificate, okay. And maybe you can see on the screen that the application fees it's around 1,000 dirham, and for the certification around 1,000 also, and the renewal it will be 800, and in case if you would like to have like scope of update, it will be 500 dirham. So in general, just you need to be really understand the culture, okay, and overall you need to remember that there is have a different values. You need to be careful also with dealing with people here locally, because you know for each culture they have a different attitude, different also discussion. Be flexible also and patient about the timetables. Be also prepared to modify your original ideas, or maybe to modify your products in case if you get any request for having any customized product, because really people here locally in UAE they are really interested to have something unique and to have something also different, and it's not same like any other part of the world. So be careful about this point, be flexible on that, okay. For the price, be also ready that maybe you will have some bargain on prices. So of course put this as a key point for your discussion. Follow up with your leads here locally, it's very, very important. And please don't forget that the working days here normally it's starting on Sunday and it's on end on Thursday. So Saturday and Friday we are off in UAE. So of course don't expect any response during these 2 days. So I have already finalized my part. I don't know if anyone have any questions, if anyone have any clarification points.
Rami, we've got also one slide that we didn't speak about on custom duties and VAT.
Yes, sorry, yes. Yeah, the customs duties here locally, it's 5%, and VAT, it's already implemented like 2019, and also 5%. And for any other kind of taxes, it's not available here in UAE. So this is mainly what we are speaking about.
I think we have a concept of free zones in UAE. I don't know if you have seen. We have 28 free zones in Dubai, just in Dubai. In the country, 45 free zones. 28 free zones in Dubai that give you the possibility as a foreign company to come and to invest and to implement your own company, keeping 100% of the shares. So it is your own company. But with this company in the free zones, you can make only BtoB, which means that you can sell only to another company. If you want to make BtoC, you need to have a company locally, what we call mainland. And then you need to have a sponsor, and these sponsors will have 51% of this company, and you will have only 49%. So a lot of international companies are not so much interested to go into mainland, and they prefer to go through distributors. They prefer to go to some retailers that are in the market, like Shalom, that you have seen, that have a lot of retail stores in the country. So that's why, you know, I mean, we have these free zones. So 28 free zones, some of them which are very general free zones, some of them which are very, for example, Jebel Ali is very seaport oriented. Dubai Airport Free Zone is airport oriented, so with air freight. You have Dubai Healthcare, which is on the health side. Telecom, you have different. You have vegetable, fruit and vegetable free zones, different type of free zones. So you need to really look at that. These products, when they come inside the free zones, there is no tax. I mean, you've got this tax that you pay, but you can re-export your product also without paying any tax, and you pay the tax only when it comes to the other country. So you can import it in Dubai and then re-export in Oman, in Saudi, in Egypt, wherever you want. And when the items go outside of the customs, then you need to pay 5% VAT, which is quite new to the market. As Rami told you, has been implemented just 2 years ago. So imagine, before there was no VAT. And we have this VAT, and you need to register to have a VAT number on all that kind of stuff. And this is the summary that Rami discussed about, giving you an idea of this market, which is really an interesting market. I would say very dynamic markets, and as you can see, it's really on the top. I mean, it's a country that they love innovations, they love new products. It's going much faster than what you could believe. As you can see, there are a lot of social media influencers. If I take, for example, France, we have almost 30 French influencers in Dubai that have come to Dubai the last 1 year and a half, around 30 of them. The most famous one is Nabila, of course, that many should know if you are French. And I'm sure that if you come from other countries, it will be maybe the same for you. Of course, they come there because they have contract with the brands, and they have contracts with, I would say, an advantage on the fiscal side. So they can optimize, of course, and this is why they come to they come to Dubai. So we have a few questions. I don't know if we will be able to answer all of them. Maybe I will take with the first one. Is there any particular contractual condition with the GCC? So as Rami told you, a lot of people ask for exclusivity when it comes to brands. You know, if you find a distributor, they say we want to have the exclusivity. You need to be extremely careful on the exclusivity side when you give exclusivity, because they can easily take the exclusivity, take this agreement, register it with Chamber of Commerce, and then say we are the official distributor, and then it's very difficult for you, if anything doesn't work well, to go out of this distributor and to change and to take another one. So I would advise you to be extremely careful on the exclusivity side, on the territory as well, because you know, United Arab Emirates, it's one country. Saudi Arabia, it's another country. Qatar, it's another country. And please don't mix them and think that Middle East is one country. It's exactly the same. If I tell you in Europe, Spain is the same like Italy, is the same like Germany, is the same like Belgium, whatever you want. We have different countries, different culture, and different ways to deal also. So it's not because one company is well established in UAE that they can ask for exclusivity for the full GCC. And maybe you need to have one distributor for UAE, one distributor for Saudi, one distributor for Qatar. So be extremely careful on that. And one advice also to give you, if you are in Saudi Arabia, speak Saudi. If you are in Qatar, speak Qatar. If you are in Dubai, speak Dubai. If you are in Abu Dhabi, speak Abu Dhabi, or UAE, whatever, but don't try to mix things, please. That's also very important. And on the payment side, of course, try to protect yourself, you know, to make sure that maybe after some times when you start knowing the company, you are able to give some credit terms, but otherwise, please be very careful. Because you know, I mean, the objective is to sell, and of course to collect the money on the sales part. So be very careful on that. We are of course supporting companies when it comes to contractual conditions, but be careful on that. So that was one of the questions. Let me go to the next one. You mentioned that it is common that halal products are demanded. Is there any list of halal brands that is recognized and shared by the government agencies and used to support such brands towards marketing dimension? Who would like to reply?
I think for the answer on this question, there is no specific products. When we speak about halal, we speak halal as a what it's called as a certificate. Okay, like if you have if your product it's a halal certified, of course it will be added value for the product, and of course for Arab people, especially if they are going to to buy a product, they are looking firstly, especially also Muslim people, they are looking first for halal product, which it will be really the most, or I can say the top ranking for them. But for the government to push for some brands or to give like some support for these brands, no, it's not available, to be honest with
you. Alors, can you get the presentation file? We reply already to that, so this is okay. Could you please tell us more about the duty-free distribution network in airport? Thanks.
I think we have replied already. The duty-free, it's 5%. For distribution networking in airports, normally here it's happens through the freight forward companies. Okay, and it will be as per the dealing with your logistic provider, and also as per your deal also with your distributor or your partner here locally, who's going to take care about the clearance of the customs duty, who is going to take the clearance of the product and the transportation as well, and all of that, it will be aligned with your logistic provider locally here.
Okay. Another question, if we have an exclusive distributor for Dubai, can we have another distributor also for Sharjah? I would say from that the market also is segmented within the UAE, and it is true that sometimes, as Rami said on the regulation parts, sometimes you need to be approved by Dubai, or you need to be approved by Abu Dhabi, and you need to be approved by Sharjah. So it is true that sometimes people segment the way they want to distribute and say, Abu Dhabi, I will have this type of partner. Dubai, I will have this type of partner. Sharjah, I will have this type of partner. So it really depends on you. As I told you, don't give exclusivity just right now, just like this, and give possibilities to know better your partners, to really work together. I mean, the objective at the end of it is not to find a company that looks quite okay, you know, and then will take your logo and say, I distribute this company, and then nothing is moving. Okay, I mean, it's a waste of time for you, and you don't get anything. So it's not always the larger one that are doing good for you. So try really to find distributors that is having a good philosophy, that is organized on the sales parts to be able to distribute locally, and then check with this company. Sometimes, and I would say most of the times, they have possibilities to distribute in all the Emirates. Okay, not just one.
I just would like to add one point. Of course, if you find a distributor and you are sharing with him that he will take care only and he will only distribute for one Emirates, it will be very limited, and maybe also you cannot find easily. Keeping in mind that he will pay and he will cover the cost for the product registration, he will take care also about the storage, he will spend a lot of time to get the product registered. So of course, for them, the minimum at least to have one country. Some of them, they are pushing to have a full region, like مثلا GCC or Middle East, but the minimum, and this is what we are advising, at least one country.
Another question. So thank you for this piece of information. Could you please write down the name of the local authorities you mentioned? So of course it will be in the presentation that will be, as Ségolène said, it will be forwarded to you. What process to follow if we would like to sell through our e-shop in France? Thank you.
For through the e-shop, you speak about BtoC. So I mean, I'm located here locally. I have browsed your website. I order one product, two products, three products. It's fine. As an individual shipment, there is no issue at all. The customs will not stop it, and they will ask, no, you need to register the product. But if we speak about big quantity, like more than مثلا 10 above, maybe it will be a question mark, and sometimes also the customs will not allow the product to go inside the country. So this is normal, no need to register the product here as it's already B2C.
Okay. I just want to remind you that on the e-commerce side, I mean, we have really seen a good increase on the e-commerce. You know, during COVID-19, it was really strict and you were not able to go outside. And when I speak about being confined, it was really strict. Huh? You could not go out of your place. And you had heavy penalties. So a lot of distributors, a lot of retailers also start promoting e-commerce and then say you can order and then we will deliver to your place. And with Carrefour, for example, it was possible to buy a very small bottle of water and to get it delivered to your place. We have also a lot of proximity shops which are there, retailers, that arrange things also for the citizens next to them. So the e-commerce has really gone up quite quickly. We have some e-commerce platforms that are available, and we can see on the cosmetic side that it's really one segment to look at, and especially on the new sectors like bio sectors, like organic side, like all that type of sectors also, which are there with some specific shops, retailers that have also opened, for example, just on organic. One question, Rami, but I don't know if you remember when it was exactly, and maybe it's a very specific question. When you say sealed, does it mean that perfume bottle cannot be refilled? Thank you.
No, the bottles, the refilled one, it's available here already. There is some shops who are providing this point, but when we speak about sealing, we speak about the final products. Okay, we have already some shops here. We have already some shops who are making refilling for the bottles, and they making the packing also as well. And then when they are register the product, they register the raw material itself, the fragrances itself.
Okay, one last question. How to protect the brand from big e-marketplace?
For me, it's not clear, to be honest.
Maybe to explain you also, I mean, when we have clients also and they want to distribute in the regions, in the Middle East region, the first thing that we ask them, it's about property, okay, about the brands. Has it been registered? Is it okay? I mean, you need to be extremely careful on that. So of course, depending on your country, you have ways to register your brands. Okay, that's point number one. And then of course, we have access to some lawyers in the GCC markets that are able to work on intellectual property, and then to make sure also that your brand or your product is getting protected. Okay, so that's some things that you really need to look at, because there are a lot of copies in the market, and of course it's you need to be extremely careful. So I think we are quite okay. Ségolène, I don't know if you want to close this.
Thank you very much for this presentation. I hope it was very useful for all of you. It was great to have all of you participating to that webinar coming from many countries, since it was organized in the framework of this European project. So once again, thank you very much for the organization. We have put just a few documents in a Dutch file. You can get the presentation of the European project and acceleration program, and also the presentation of the mission to Dubai. Of course, we are available for any question, whether in Dubai, whether in France, about that, and whether also through your clusters in your countries. So don't hesitate to contact us directly if you have any question. Don't hesitate to have a look also at the website, Global Cosmetic Cluster Europe, since you have some information on it, some market watch bulletins also available for your information. So it's free to access. Don't hesitate, it's made for that. It's made to boost your internalization. Sorry. So we will just put you by the end of the webinar a few questions, really short question, but it's very useful for us. If you can take a 1 minute maximum to answer, it's quick one, just to have an overview and your feedback on this webinar, since we are going to plan this kind of webinar on the 4 other markets I talked to you about. It's going to be by the end of the year and beginning of the year 2022. So we will also have webinars talking about the different other markets. So it's useful to have your feedback. Please answer this little survey. It's short and quick. Well, that's about it. Let's see each other in Dubai beginning of October. Let's see each other in Cosmetic 360 in Paris if you're able to come to talk about innovation in the cosmetic industry, and what in different events we might organize in the framework of this European project. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.